California, here we come. Welcome to MsMojo, and today we're counting down our picks for the top 10 behind-the-scenes secrets from the OC. Before we begin, we publish new content every day, so be sure to subscribe to our channel and ring the bell to get notified about our latest videos. For this list, we're looking at interesting things that have been reported or claimed about this TV show, and that the biggest fans of this teen drama may not know. Number 10. The younger cast members wanted out.
Well, if it isn't the Wicked Witch of the West Coast. Are you drunk?
The OC was a straight shot to fame for the young cast, many of whom had never been in the spotlight before.
Hey! Mouse!
Hey, volume! Cohen! It's not Metallica!
Once it began to dawn on them that the little show they were in was taking off worldwide, they began to grow restless in their roles, feeling like it was time to move on to something better now that they were becoming household names.
What's going on? You guys okay? Seth?
We're being stealth.
According to Tate Donovan, one of the veteran actors, this led to bad attitudes from the younger cast members, some even going as far as to deliberately forget their lines. Sounds like one heck of a bad working environment.
That's your idea of being a real dad. Abandoning me and moving to Hawaii.
Number 9. Creator Josh Schwartz regrets killing Marissa Cooper.
I'm sorry for all the craziness.
I wouldn't have done it any differently.
With Josh Schwartz as one of the youngest showrunners of all time, it makes sense that in hindsight he might regret a few story decisions. This definitely turned out to be the case with the death of Marissa Cooper.
Ryan! Look out!
Happening at the end of season 3, after a long run of bad decisions and mistakes on the part of Marissa, it's one of the most memorable moments of the show. And while it might have made sense to Schwartz at the time of writing, he's since come forward saying it was one of the things he would definitely do differently if he had the chance. Number 8. You couldn't dive into the pool.
So where is Atwood anyway?
I don't know, and I don't care.
Yeah, I haven't seen him for a while.
They lived in a house that could make the Kardashians jealous, with one of its most distinctive features being the pool in the backyard. But the Cohens might have had a hard time swimming in it for real, since the pool built for the show was only 4 feet deep.
Taking you with me?
Scenes often had to be filmed with the actors on their knees to make the water look realistically deep enough. But hey, we all know that the real star of the Cohen house isn't the pool, but the pool house that serves as Ryan's bedroom.
So between the two of us,
We're right back where we started.
well, at least we haven't lost any ground.
Number 7. Ryan Atwood was going to be Sandy Cohen's son.
Smart kid like you gotta have a plan. Some kind of a dream.
They might have had one of the best father-son relationships to ever come out of television, and for a while, it looked like they were going to make it a biological relationship instead of an adoptive one. In the early drafts of the show, Ryan was allegedly Sandy's real son,
The Cohens are my guardians, not my parents.
with Sandy being one of the most compassionate characters on the show and so committed to his family. Changing the story so that Ryan was his illegitimate child would have thrown off the whole dynamic.
He's not a criminal mastermind. He's a kid who has no one and nowhere to go.
Thankfully, early drafts are just that, drafts, and could be discarded, creating the wonderful relationships between the two characters that we know today.
I didn't know how to tie a tie till I was 25. Come on, give me a tie.
Number 6. The network demanded more melodrama.
Hey, get your hands off of her.
Another word, you're out of this school.
Don't touch her!
If a favorite show starts going down the drain, there's a pretty high chance it's because some network executives got involved in how the show was run. This is especially true of the OC, where the network demanded more melodrama and more plot lines for the adults.
I get it. He's cool. He's got great abs. And personifies everything that's bad for you, Marissa.
Oh, so you want to sleep with him instead?
Of course, this resulted in an absolute mess of a season, with stories that didn't go anywhere, and the show ultimately becoming the thing that it was trying so hard to mock. It might be this network involvement that led to the shortened 4th and final season, that had to work doubly as hard to make up for the disaster that was season 3.
Yeah, I'm doing you guys a favor staying away.
You're doing us a favor?
Face it, man, I bring trouble. Trey, Volchak, you and your family, you're better off without me.
It's not true.
Number 5. The designer goods were fake.
Be so amazing tonight. Are you gonna wear the Donna Karan, Marissa? I thought it was very forgiving.
It wouldn't be a show about Newport's richest without a few dozen Chanel bags appearing on screen. But as Alexandra Welker, the season 1 costume designer, revealed, getting those big brands for the show was not easy. Quote, "Nobody had ever heard of us, so they were very leery of loaning anything," she admitted in honor of the show's 15th anniversary, going on to spill the beans on one of the biggest secrets of the series, that most of the brands in season 1 were fake and knockoffs.
Marissa wanted to wear these Prada Mary Janes, but I told her she had to wear the stiletto Manolos.
Thankfully, once the show began to pick up steam, brands began taking notice, lending real pieces and therefore real credibility to our Newport faves.
Is that a new purse? Yeah. So cute. Did your dad ever say no?
Number 4, Summer Roberts and Julie Cooper were only recurring characters.
You and me, we need to play our cards right.
Can you imagine a version of the OC where Summer Roberts and Julie Cooper were only background characters who turned up for a few episodes per season? Of course not. However, this nearly happened, as the two were initially cast in recurring rather than main roles.
If Caleb's going down, you better believe Kirsten's going with him. So you better come up with something, or it won't be just my kids who lose everything.
Whoever thought Melinda Clarke could only be given an occasional role was seriously mistaken, and Rachel Bilson made a huge impression with fans in the pilot episode, despite how few lines she had.
If you need a ride or anything, I'm Summer.
It took about half of the episodes of season 1 before either of them was upgraded to being a series regular, but this is certainly a case of better late than never.
It has nothing to do with me. It is about you, and it is always about you. What you need and what you want, you know. It seems that you only want me when you can't have me.
Number 3, Mischa Barton spoiled Marissa's death.
You guys are all leaving. I'm gonna be stuck here alone. I need a new life.
Despite a tumultuous third season with rumors of Marissa's death floating around, no one was really quite prepared for what happened on the day the finale aired. To say things ended on a bad note with actress Mischa Barton is probably an understatement. It's the only explanation for the fact that she publicly confirmed in an interview, mere hours before the season 3 finale aired, that her character, Marissa Cooper, was going to die.
Marissa.
Love is not some victory mark. It's a cold and it's a...
Combining this information with the knowledge that the cast were unhappy with their roles on the show, it makes sense that Barton did such a thing, ruining the finale for fans and probably making the network weep with frustration.
Marissa.
Number 2, Alex Kelly and Marissa Cooper's relationship was deeper.
Come on. I'm a huge fan of spontaneous first dates. I am too.
The OC will never be remembered for its stellar LGBTQ+ representation, but it was one of the first mainstream young adult shows to prominently feature two women in a romantic relationship.
Not that I want to put any pressure on you or anything. It's just that's how I feel. And I had to say it.
Josh Schwartz has been forthcoming about the fact that the relationship was written as something a lot more developed than what made it to the screen, saying that the network forced them to make major cuts of scenes that would have made the relationship between the two characters more meaningful. Instead, what audiences got was a fairly short-lived fling that ended up appearing as though it were a ratings grab. Number 1, Josh Schwartz didn't want Adam Brody.
Oh, hey, cocaine.
It was almost a show unlike the one that finally graced our screens by the mere fact that showrunner Josh Schwartz did not want to cast Adam Brody in the role of Seth Cohen.
Just admit it, you want her back. No, I don't. It's the new me, Ryan. It is. World, wrap your head around the new Seth Cohen.
Admittedly, this was because Brody was auditioning for a bunch of shows at the time, and so Schwartz was less than impressed by him turning up at the audition without having learned the lines. Considering that Seth was similar to a younger Schwartz, it makes sense that he was protective of the role, and didn't want to give it to someone who looked like they didn't care.
This chick's going down. Please, dude, I just need to talk about me for like several more hours at least.
But thankfully, at the insistence of a casting director, Brody was given another chance, then cast, and Seth Cohen was born.
My back. Personal growth is so painful.
Do you agree with our picks? Check out these other great clips from MsMojo, and be sure to subscribe and ring the bell to be notified about our latest videos.